Hare Krishna. So, a very warm welcome to all the Gurukul Vasis back to Sri Bhaktivedanta Gurukula. I hope you had a good time at home, gave a lot of love, affection, and service to parents, and especially that you utilized your holidays to go closer to Krishna. How many of you felt happy having gone home? Satisfied? Nice. And how many of you were happy to come back to Gurukul? Icha. Thank you. This is your home away from home. Thank you. So today, before we do other things, whatever seva management, etc., we would like to kind of reconsider coming to Gurukula, being with the other brahmacharis, and trying to learn and develop oneself. What is the exact, they call it bhumika, the why behind everything. I would like to tell a short story. You might be knowing this story, but I like this story so much that every time I narrate it, I feel I'm into that role. There was a powerful lion, and he had a small cub. The cub somehow got lost, strayed away from the lion's herd, and it got itself into a sheep herd. There were a lot of lambs, sheep, and this baby cub started staying in that company. So by staying in the company of the sheep, he started learning their habits, their type of behavior. He would drink water very timidly, as if somebody is going to come and attack him. Or he would close eyes while drinking water, and instead of the way the lions lick, he would like the bakri. All the vegetarians, they suck the water, and all the non-vegetarians, they lick the water. You understand the difference? So he started sucking, and once in a while, when they would make their sounds, he would also make the sound. So many days passed by. He even started eating grass. After some days, that herd had gone into the jungle for grazing, and this fellow was also amongst them, and used to behave just like them. Suddenly, everybody heard a loud roar. As soon as they heard that roar, the sheep ran away in 10 directions. But this cub, lion's cub, did not run away. Why? Because it was a familiar voice. It was his mama that had come. So the lioness saw from far distance her own cub, and she was simultaneously overjoyed and in like a pain relief kind of roar she gave. So she went very close to this baby cub, and he found his mother. They cuddled together, and the mama started licking, the baby, very lovingly. And in great happiness, he did. And the mother got very annoyed. She looked at him like that, who's this guy? And she gave him a chastisement. One slap she gave. What is man? We roar, we don't know man. So she then took him back home and trained him to become a lion king, the king of the jungle. So he forgot all this nonsense, eating grass, meh, everything else. So I was invited once in Jalna to a Lions Club. It's a prestigious club in India that conducts social welfare activities. They told me, become the keynote speaker for our president's changeover. One president changes, another president of the club. So give us speech. So I took this story. How to become a Lions Club member. From cub to club. You understand? So I gave a formula. This is a Sanskrit Subhashit. You will have to repeat after me. Tyajadurjana samsargam bhaja sadhu samagamam kuru punyam ahoratram smaranityam anityatam. 4 things. Lion. Lion. How to become lion? Follow this acronym. Lion. Tyajadurjana samsargam. Leave the company of non-devotees. Wicked people who are not interested in spiritual life. Tyaja Durjana samsargam. It's an infection, samsarga. Very dangerous type of infection it is. Liking for bad association. Very dangerous. Tyaja Durjana samsargam. You want to become a lion? First thing. Bhaja sadhu samagamam means I. You have to use I. Don't forget. Immerse yourself in good association. सत्संग में डूब जाओ खुशी से. Right? You look at each other. What kind of personalities are sitting around you? How beautiful they look. How focused and how nicely come prepared to take training. This is satsanga. Bhaja sadhu samagamam. Immerse yourself in good association, saintly association. And then kuru punyam ahoratram. You have to use O. Occupy yourself in Krishna conscious dharmic activities. Punyam. How long? Ahoratram. Day and night. Kuru punyam ahoratram. Occupy yourself in wonderful spiritual activities. Varnashram activities. And then finally, while doing all that, giving a bad association, taking good association, doing dharmic, dutiful activities, Smaranityam anityatam. Always remember that everything in this world is temporary. N for never forget. Everything in this world is temporary. Smara nityam anityatam. अनित्यता को नित्य स्मरण करो. ऐसे बोल रहे संस्कृत में. ये सब कुछ नश्वर है. तुमको जो अभी लग रहा है ना कि इतना पेन होता है एक घर से वापस इधर आने में, मम्मी को छोड़ने में, या आश्रम में रहते समय तपस्या उठाने में, दिस इज ऑल्सो अनित्य. दिस विल गो अवे. नथिंग इज परमानेंट इन दिस वर्ल्ड. व्हाई आर वी टेकिंग एवरीथिंग सो सीरियसली? सो इसीलिए इफ गुड और बैड एनीथिंग हैपेंस इन लाइफ, वी शुड ओनली आस्क 2 क्वेश्चंस. So what? Now what? What are the 2 questions? So what? Now what? Like somebody insulted you, or somebody said bad things about you. So what? Anitya. This also is temporary. And now what? Now what means, so what gives you the understanding that what is the lesson here? And now what gives you the answer for how will I respond? मैं कैसे जवाब दूंगा इसको? इस इंसल्ट का जवाब मैं कैसे दूंगा? तो इसलिए never forget everything is temporary. Don't take things too seriously. Don't take even yourself too seriously. You only take Krishna, Guru and their wonderful association very seriously. Other things, nothing is permanent. Even the emotions we go through sometimes. ये मेरा फ्रेंड है, ये मेरा शत्रु है. मैं टॉपर हूँ, ये डफर है. All this is temporary. So this is why never forget everything is temporary, because then you will be very careful not to waste your time other than stupid activities of material world in good activities of Krishna consciousness. So LION, leave the bad company, immerse yourself in good company, occupy yourself in nice activities, Krishna conscious activities, and never forget everything is temporary. If you follow this formula, who do you become? Lion. No, you don't become lion like the mane and the claws and teeth, that was a lion. What we mean by lion? Ours is a Simha Parampara, Guru Parampara. Prabhupada used to say, one devotee wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada glorifying one devotee, Ramanand, Rai Rama. He said, Prabhupada, Rai Rama is roaring like a lion in the Europe, which means that he's doing wonderful book distribution. So that devotee had glorified his God brother to Prabhupada. He said, Rai Rama is roaring like a lion. And in response, Prabhupada wrote a letter. He said, the analogy you gave of lion roaring was wonderful. Ours is a lion parampara. My Guru Maharaj was called Simha Guru. Prabhupada is saying, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He was so powerful that Mayavadis, as soon as they would see him coming, they would run away. So, Prabhupada said, lions produce other lions. Lions don't produce lambs. Which means, if we belong to this parampara, Guru Shishya parampara, then by the process of Diksha and Shiksha, we become powerfully situated as Lord's devotees, pure devotees. That's not the meaning of becoming a lion. And then, naturally, when we go out and preach, who do we produce? Lions. Lions produce other lions. They don't produce lambs. So I found this lion analogy, the cub analogy, wonderful for two reasons. I could see myself as that cub. When I was staying in my engineering hostel, imitating the ways of the materialist, eating anything, talking nonsense, engaging in useless activities, no proper understanding of life, its goal, its contribution. How exactly like that cub. And when one devotee used to come to our doorstep in the hostel, initially there was Rasikananda Prabhu, and then Krishna Kishore Prabhu, and then sometimes Radhesham Prabhu is also come. As soon as they would enter our hostel, all my friends who did not want them catching them, asking them, why don't you come for a Bhagavad Gita class, they would just run away from the hostel. Some people would go sit inside the room and lock it with the help of a friend from outside, so that the preacher will think that nobody is in the room, so he will not knock on it. But they're inside. I knew they're inside. So when they would come, the devotees, I would become overjoyed. I would feel, wow, now I'll get to hear nicely Bhagavad Gita from them. They will of course get nice prasadam and everything. So I would get excited. And all these other lamps, they would run away. They would think that this fellow is a dangerous guy. And over a period of time, just by hearing, sometimes I used to do meme also in the class. But by having a conversation with a Vaishnava, all my misgivings and nonsensical ideas about what is material life, what is spiritual life, everything got finished. I got so fixed up that in that hostel where I was staying, I was the only devotee in that entire wing practicing Krishna consciousness, and everybody had boycotted me because they thought that this is too strange for us to handle. And I used to feel happy about it. Teja Durjana, samsargam. Durjano ne hi mera tyag kar diya, to abhi kya? Even if you want to get bad association, there is nobody to take. And then, Bhaja Sadhu Samagamam. So many devotees, they would conduct programs in my room only, in the hostel. And I would also go to temple regularly. And I remember the first hand that put tilak on me, Radheshamru's hand. It was so fragrant. And that tilak, the first tilak, Vaishnava tilak that I put, I remember to date. What an experience that was. I became a transformed man after that. Just one act, one gesture. And then I stopped my mimi and I started roaring. I remember I gave a first IYF meeting, ISKCON Youth Forum meeting. And I didn't know how to speak scriptures and everything, and big devotees are sitting in front of you. So I just prepared from proper books and some notes that I had made in my classes when I used to hear class. So there was some topic given to me. Is youth meant for enjoyment or enlightenment? I gave such a bombastic presentation that the assessment was being done by Radheshamru. He was assessing on 10 criteria how was the presentation. I remember he gave me 88 out of 100, which was considered like quite a good score. And our passing marks for becoming a preacher was 70. You have to get minimum 70 to pass. And then, when Radheshamru took for feedback the mic, he said one line, "This person reminds me of how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati speaks." And he said, he never speaks anything outside scripture, but he never speaks anything irrelevant. That was a compliment. What I had done was, I used to take a shloka, start talking about the purport that Prabhupada is writing, and in between that, a thought line would evolve. And for that, I would quote a shloka, and then that purport I will begin to talk. And in that, there will be another thought line that would evolve. Then I'll quote another shloka and speak another purport. It was little too theoretical from my understanding. But it was appreciated, maybe first of all to encourage me, acha aur kare aage. And also from point of view of not deviating, not talking here and there too many things. So in this way, I never looked back. After that, when I started giving classes, I remember that just by repeating the words that I have been hearing, I had one another habit. I used to hear from Bhakti Rasamrut Maharaj his DD series. There was DD series 1, DD series 2. It had like 19 plus 21, some 40 lectures it had. And in those days there were cassettes. So I had आईवा का एक वॉकमैन लेके आया था मैं सिर्फ वो सुनने के लिए. और मेरे घर में जितने भी हिंदी मूवी के गाने वाले जो थे कैसेट्स, उसको मैं लेके गया टेंपल में और उसको डब कर दिया, रीडब with the lectures of all Prabhupada, Bhakti Rasamrut Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, everybody. And once I went home, and my father took some cassette and put it, thinking it is something that he wanted to hear. And Jai Radha Madhava started. My father is what? And the first kirtan that my father heard, this was Vaishnava song. The first kirtan that he heard was Prabhupada singing. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. And how Prabhupada sings, you know. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Forgive my voice. I'm talking whole day, so cracking some voice. But the way Prabhupada sang, my father started crying. And my father never cries. I never seen him cry. I said, Papa, what happened? My father is saying, who is this person singing? I have never heard anybody call out with such artata, intensity. Nobody has sung like this in my whole life, he said. Who is this person? Then I started glorifying Prabhupada. He's Prabhupada. He has done this, he has done that. So I remember my father became a transformed man just by hearing lions roar. I told you how I became a transformed man, by hearing lions roar, hearing from other devotees. My father became like that. From that day he started taking spiritual life seriously. Till then he was thinking I am some deviant, doing weird things. and he's going to land up in some Sadhugiri, something like that. But, so this is how this whole understanding of Gurukula is all about becoming lions. Lions don't produce lambs. Lions produce other lions. So when you are staying here in the Gurukula, you decide how long you want to maintain your meme of the previous world that you came from, and how much do you really want the spiritual empowerment that Radha Braj Bihari is sitting eagerly to offer you. He's looking at you, how you are behaving, how you are approaching the whole process, and he's sitting there to bless. Powerful empowerment is waiting. Brahmanda tarite shakti dhare jane jane. Each member of Krishna consciousness movement coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can deliver an entire Brahmanda. That is the power bestowed upon him by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is how much empowerment is awaiting us. The only question is, are we ready? Are we really wanting to be so? I was talking to Neeraj. Every time I embrace him, he embraces me with such a shyness. I don't know what to call it exactly. उसको ऐसा डर लगता है कि शायद प्रभु जी को ज़्यादा टाइट एम्ब्रेस दे दिया ना तो कुछ तो अचानक बदल जाएगा मेरी लाइफ में जो मैं नहीं बदलना चाहता हूँ. आई एम जस्ट जोकिंग बट बी होल हार्टेड इन एवरीथिंग दैट यू डू हियर. मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में नॉनसेंस करने के लिए लोग होल हार्टेड रहते हैं कि नहीं. आपने देखा गणपति में डांस करने वाले लोग वैसा डांस करते हो, पूरा शेम वगैरह सब भूल के and such weird sounds and gestures. They just really go crazy. No, for such a stupid nonsense enjoyment, they are so shameless. Here we are doing something wonderful. What should we be fearful of? Ashamed of? Just give your wholehearted best. Put your heart into everything that you are getting to do in Gurukul. The simplest thing like sitting and hearing a class. Simplest thing like just sitting and tasting prasadam. Do it full heart. And in this way you will see the transformative power of bhakti will act. And it will just matter of 7-8 years, not long. कितना समय रहने वाला है? 10वीं तक, 12वीं तक ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा. Nothing. आपका अगर 88 years का लाइफ था और आपने 8 साल गुरुकुल में दिए, what is that? 9%, 8.87%, I guess. That's all. 91% life you are living for yourself. And here is something you are doing, just for a strong time. Powerful effect. Transformation. So it is my humble request, now that you have come back here, bring your mental energy fully in focus to execute your brahmachari duties in the ashram. What are the 3 duties of a brahmachari? Sadhana, study, seva. This is all that you need to do, nicely. Whatever you did 2 months, that was fun, no problem, all good. Don't bring in that culture if it is disturbing your main duty. Any comments or questions?